Are you among the chosen ones? Understanding the hardest spiritual tests in Islam. You may have heard the phrase chosen ones being thrown around in different contexts. Some people assume that only a select few individuals are truly chosen by Allah, as if being spiritually elevated is an exclusive privilege. But let's set the record straight. Each and every one of us has the potential to be chosen by Allah. What determines this? It all comes down to how we respond to the tests that Allah places in our lives. In Islam, being tested is not a sign of punishment or misfortune. It is actually a sign of Allah's love and an opportunity for growth. Our trials, struggles, and hardships are not just random obstacles. Rather, they are divine opportunities for purification, for strengthening our faith, and for drawing closer to our Creator. These challenges, though difficult, are the very tests that can elevate our status in the eyes of Allah. They refine our souls, purify our hearts, and shape our spiritual journey in ways we may not fully understand in the moment. So, in this video, we will explore 7 of the hardest spiritual tests that believers face, tests that can either break a person or make them stronger in faith. These are the tests that separate those who truly trust Allah from those who only claim to. Because being chosen is not about special privileges, it's about how we endure and overcome the trials Allah has written for us. 1. The test of patience in hardship and ease. We've all experienced those moments when life is flowing smoothly. Everything seems to be going according to plan, and we feel like we are in control of our destiny. During these times, it's easy to become complacent. We may not consciously forget about Allah, but we start assuming that our success and comfort are purely the result of our own efforts. But what happens when life takes an unexpected turn? When a sudden hardship strikes, whether it's financial struggles, illness, heartbreak, or the loss of a loved one, it feels as though the world is crumbling around us. This is when our patience is truly put to the test. However, patience, sabr, isn't just about enduring hardships. Many people assume patience is only for those who are struggling, but that's not the case. Patience is also tested in times of ease and prosperity. When life is going well, do we remain humble? Do we remember to thank Allah sincerely for our blessings? Or do we take things for granted and assume that our success is entirely our own doing? True patience is about remaining steadfast whether life is difficult or comfortable. Allah tells us in the Quran, "O you who have believed, seek help through patience and prayer. Indeed, Allah is with the patient." Surah Al-Baqarah 2-153. Patience is not merely about silently enduring difficulties. It is about having gratitude in good times and remaining hopeful in challenging times. Every hardship is an opportunity to gain immense rewards, so long as we remind ourselves that our struggles have a greater purpose. 2. The test of isolation and being misunderstood. One of the most painful tests a believer can face is the feeling of isolation or being misunderstood by others. It's easy to feel alone when those around you don't understand your decisions, your faith, or your lifestyle choices. Perhaps you have chosen to distance yourself from bad influences. Maybe you are trying to improve your relationship with Allah, but the people closest to you don't support or understand your transformation. Feeling rejected, alienated, or out of place is one of the most difficult emotional struggles, but it is also one of the most profound tests from Allah. Remember, our beloved Prophet Muhammad experienced this too. He was often misunderstood, even by his own people. He endured isolation in the cave of Hira, where he received his first revelation. Even his own tribe turned against him, yet he remained steadfast. Allah reassures us in the Quran, "And we have certainly created man, and we know what his soul whispers to him, and we are closer to him than his jugular vein." Surah Qaf 50-16. No matter how lonely you feel, you are never truly alone. Allah is always nearer, closer to you than anyone else. Isolation is an opportunity to strengthen your connection with Him. 3. The test of losing control. There are moments in life when no matter how hard you try, things don't go your way. Whether it's a personal struggle, a family crisis, or an unexpected failure, these are times when you realize you are not in control. This test is especially difficult because as humans, we love control. We like to plan, prepare, and believe that we can steer our lives in the direction we choose. But then reality hits us with a stark reminder. Control belongs to Allah alone. The real challenge in this test is learning to trust in Allah's plan and surrender to His wisdom. Allah reminds us, "Say, never will we be struck except by what Allah has decreed for us. He is our protector, and upon Allah let the believers rely." Surah Tawbah 9:51. When you truly embrace tawakkul, trusting Allah wholeheartedly, you let go of anxiety, frustration, and fear. You begin to find peace in surrendering to His will. 4. The test of life's uncertainty. Life is unpredictable. Plans don't always unfold the way we expect. We invest time and effort into something only for it to fall apart before our eyes. At times, you might feel lost, wondering, what's the point of all this? But uncertainty is part of the test. It forces us to reflect, to turn to Allah, and to trust that even when we can't see the full picture, He has a greater plan in motion. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't need to know exactly how things will turn out. You just need to trust that Allah knows. 5. The test of hardship as a path to growth. Nobody enjoys hardship, but some of the greatest blessings in life come disguised as difficulties. The Prophet said, "Whoever Allah wants good for, He afflicts him with trials." Bukhari 5645. Think about that for a moment. Allah tests those He loves. He doesn't allow you to go through hardship for no reason. It's because He wants something greater for you. Struggles are not setbacks. They are stepping stones to spiritual elevation. 6. The test of success and wealth. Most people think that hardships are the hardest tests. But what if I told you that success can be an even greater test? When life is going well, when you have wealth, status, and recognition, do you remain humble? Or do you become arrogant and forget Allah? True success is not in wealth or status, but in gratitude and humility. 7. The test of adjusting expectations. We all have expectations about how life should go. But sometimes Allah's plan is different from our own. The real test is not whether life follows our expectations, but whether we remain content with Allah's decree. As we navigate these tests, remember, trials are not signs of Allah's anger, they are signs of His love. May Allah guide us through our struggles and grant us patience, wisdom, and strength. Ameen. You've likely heard the phrase, chosen ones, mentioned often. But let's set the record straight. Every single one of us has the potential to be chosen by Allah, depending on how we respond to the tests He places before us. In Islam, being tested is not a sign of punishment or exclusion. Rather, it is a profound indication of Allah's love. Trials serve as opportunities for growth, purification, and elevation, not just hardships to endure. Life itself is a test, and spiritual challenges are no different. They come in varying degrees of intensity, sometimes overwhelming, sometimes subtle, but always with a purpose. And here's a perspective that might change the way you view them. The toughest spiritual trials are the very ones that elevate your rank in the eyes of Allah. What may seem like an unbearable obstacle is, in reality, an avenue toward strengthening your faith and deepening your connection with your Creator. These trials are not meaningless. They are not random misfortunes that befall us without reason. Instead, they are designed to mold us, refine our character, and bring us closer to Allah. In this video, we will delve into 7 of the hardest spiritual tests that believers frequently encounter, and why these tests are so crucial on the path to spiritual awakening. It's not about being chosen in the way society perceives it through wealth, status, or recognition. Rather, it's about enduring and overcoming the challenges that Allah has ordained for us, proving our sincerity and strengthening our resolve and faith. Let's begin. Test number 1, the trial of patience in times of hardship. Every believer, at some point in their journey, will face moments where patience is required. It's easy to be grateful when everything is going well, when life feels smooth, when you're achieving your goals, and when the blessings you sought are being granted. During these times, we may even forget our dependence on Allah, feeling as though we are in full control of our lives. But what happens when things suddenly take a turn for the worse? When calamity strikes unexpectedly, when hardships feel relentless, and when it seems as if the walls of the world are closing in. This is when the true test of patience begins. Many people assume patience is only necessary in times of poverty, loss, or suffering, but patience is tested in both hardship and ease. When wealth, success, and comfort fill a person's life, their patience is tested in a different way through their humility, gratitude, and ability to remain grounded. Will they acknowledge Allah's role in their success, or will they grow arrogant, assuming they are self-sufficient? What if, instead of seeing patience as merely enduring hardships, we viewed it as an act of worship? Imagine responding to trials with unwavering faith, knowing that they are an opportunity to earn immense rewards. Allah reassures us in the Quran. O you who have believed, seek help through patience and prayer. Indeed, Allah is with the patient. Surah Al-Baqarah 2-153. This verse is a reminder that no matter the difficulty, Allah's mercy is always greater. True patience is not just about waiting for a hardship to pass, it's about maintaining gratitude in ease, trust in difficulty, and hope in uncertainty. When you master this, you transform every challenge into a means of drawing closer to Allah. Test number 2, the trial of isolation and being misunderstood. One of the most difficult trials a believer can endure is the feeling of being alone, of being misunderstood, even by those closest to them. It's a painful reality that when you choose to walk the path of righteousness, not everyone will understand your choices. Some may criticize, question, or even distance themselves from you. But this isolation, as painful as it may feel, is not necessarily a curse. In fact, it is often a means of strengthening your relationship with Allah. When the world doesn't understand you, that is the moment you have an opportunity to turn inward, to seek solace in your Creator rather than the approval of people. Even our beloved Prophet Muhammad experienced this. Before the first revelation, he retreated to the cave of Hira, distancing himself from the distractions of society to reflect and seek truth. That solitude, though difficult, was part of his spiritual preparation for the immense mission ahead. Allah reminds us in the Quran, "And we have already created man, and we know what his soul whispers to him, and we are closer to him than his jugular vein." Surah Qaf 50-16. You are never truly alone. Even when the world turns its back on you, Allah is nearer to you than your own breath. Isolation is not abandonment. Rather, it is an invitation to draw closer to Him. Test number 3, the trial of losing control. There comes a moment in every believer's life when they feel like everything is slipping through their fingers. No matter how hard they try, they cannot fix the situation. Whether it's a personal struggle, family issue, or unexpected setback, the loss of control can feel deeply unsettling. We desire control, we want certainty, stability, and the ability to shape our own outcomes. But the reality is, we are never in full control. Everything that happens is by the will of Allah. The real test is whether we can surrender to His plan with trust and reliance. This concept is known as tawakkul, placing your trust in Allah while still doing your part. The Prophet Muhammad embodied this beautifully. When his people rejected him, when his own tribe turned against him, he never lost hope. He trusted Allah's wisdom even when circumstances seemed dire. Allah reminds us in the Quran, "Say, never will we be struck except by what Allah has decreed for us. He is our protector. And upon Allah let the believers rely." Surah At-Tawbah 9:51. Letting go of the illusion of control is terrifying, but it is also liberating. Once you learn to trust Allah completely, you free yourself from unnecessary worry and anxiety, knowing that He is the best of planners.